Guys, I'm going to show you how to do a live kombucha. So it's really easy to do once you get the steps right. I'm going to show you right now. I've chopped up some ginger. Some people like to grate it. I have some passion fruit to put in, and also have some strawberries. I've put my honey into the bottles already, and over here is my live kombucha that's growing. Now this stuff here is just tea and sugar, and basically the thing on top is called a SCOBY. It looks feral. It looks absolutely disgusting, like snot, but it does the job. You'll see that I've got a big SCOBY forming down in here. So basically what this thing on top is a live yeast bacteria, and it basically processes all of the sugar, and by the time this is all fermented like it is now, it will have next to no sugar in it. Now it should be a nice sweet tasting drink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bottling this. I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how to set one of these up. It should be pretty straightforward. Basically all I'm doing is getting about a teaspoon of ginger and putting it into the bottles like so. It's a bit of a tricky situation to do and get it all in, but I do this with all of the fruits that are going to go in. Next step in the process is pretty straightforward. I need to get the live SCOBY out of that thing, and I also need to get some starter liquid. So you need about 1 cup of starter liquid for what is in these containers basically, and I can send you through all the details of that later. So I'm going to go ahead and lift out this SCOBY. The most important thing is that your hands are clean, you've washed them thoroughly, and that you have nothing on them, because the SCOBYs are basically really sensitive. You're not supposed to put metal near them, so if you need to stir it, use a plastic spoon. So I'll just lift them out and put them onto a pre-prepared plate, along with 1 cup of starter liquid each. So it looks so gross to do. So this was my baby SCOBY that I got with it, and she's developed quite nicely. Looks freaking disgusting actually. It looks like a big thing of, I guess you could say it looks like an oyster. Ugh. This is my second SCOBY, and you can see when I lift it out that it is quite large, and I'm ready possibly to give someone some of this filthy looking thing. So there are my 2 SCOBYs, or snot-like looking things. They've been growing quite nicely. So these are basically live yeast. Now all I need to do is get basically 1 cup of starter liquid out of each. Doesn't matter if it's not too accurate, because when I do the next brew, which I'll do in about half an hour's time, I need to have starter liquid from both of these. Like I said, it doesn't need to be accurate, just close. And then I'll show you what I've done. So there it all is. I've put my strawberries, my passion fruit, and my ginger into the other ones. Now I'm ready to bottle. So I'm about to bottle. It's pretty straightforward. I think I only have about 5 bottles that this batch will make. So all I'm doing is I have a nice little funnel, and all I do is I lift my lid and pour it in. Look at that juicy goodness coming out. So you fill it up to about the neck of the bottle. Oh shit. And hopefully this turns out nice. And basically you keep on repeating these steps until both of them are full, both are complete, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to finish off my bottling. So I've just completed bottling, and I actually got 6 bottles out of those 2 lots of kombucha, and I have them sitting here all good. This one is a bit manky because it was the last part of down the bottom, but you still use it, it's still good. So I've got my little dirty SCOBYs here ready to go. Now I'm just going to show you. So in here I have 4 normal tea bags, 1, 2, 3, oh, one's hidden, 4, and I have 4 green teas. These are the ones that I've used. I've done that again because I've got 2 batches going. So each of these are separate. So this will be for one side, this will be for the other. Now over here is 1 cup of sugar. I've got another cup. So basically all you're doing is boiling water over the top, ready to dissolve it. And the most important part is this sugar will all get dissolved. It'll all get eaten by the SCOBY. That's what feeds the SCOBY, and that's what makes the SCOBY happy. So basically at the end of the 7 to 10 days, mine generally takes about 6 actually, At the end of the 7 to 10 days, all of this sugar should be dissolved. If you leave it a little bit too long, your kombucha will taste vinegary. Some people like that taste. I personally don't. I think it's gross. So all I'm doing here is mixing the tea, not the tea, the sugar, to make sure all of the sugar is dissolved. Oh, no, my dog's found something. Don't know where he's going. Anyway. So I'm making sure all of the sugar is dissolved so that when I go to transfer it in, it will be beautiful and clear liquid. What I'll show you is I have to let this sit here until it is room temperature. And that is so that I don't kill the poor little SCOBY. SCOBYs generally operate in about 25 to 30 degree climates. It doesn't matter if it's a bit cooler. But the warmer it is, the faster the SCOBY will do its thing. So I'm just going to chuck the SCOBY into its little housing. Basically, the most important thing is to keep on washing your hands, because these things hate bacteria. So I'm going to place him down like that. Yuck. Floop. Now this one is only a young one. I've only had this one going for about 2 or so weeks. So I'm chucking my SCOBY down and making sure it fills the whole bottom. Basically all I'm going to do is put my starter liquid over the top. This starter liquid you always get the starter liquid from the top of the batch, because that's where all the good bacteria are. And that's where the most of the yeast stuff is. Anyway, so you just put the starter liquid over the top. And basically when the batch is ready to be done, I'll transfer it into here and I'll show you how many cups of water to put in. So in here at the moment, I forgot to tell you, there is 2 cups of water, 2 cups of water. So far I've only used 4 cups per side. I need to get it up to, I think it's 8 cups of water. I'll double check my recipe, but I'll show you that in a minute. So see you later. Next step of bottling kombucha. Don't mind my plastic container. It's been used that many times and they are burn marks down the bottom. It's not feral. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip these things in together. I will put it into my bigger container. These are at room temperature, by the way. They're nice and cool, ready to go. So tip that in. I'm going to add another 2 cups of water, just because that is the normal process to follow. So about 2 cups. Sweet. Then the simple process is to be able to transfer this into my SCOBY thingy, is I come over here and I tip it in. That's as hard as it gets, and then I add another few cups of sugar. So let's see if I can do this without tipping it. This could be problematic. So I'm going to go with this one first. So you can see it didn't really fill up too far. The next step of the process is to start adding cool water. Doesn't need to be filtered, doesn't need to be anything fancy, until it basically fills up to the very top. Which shouldn't take too long. Now I have measured this all out and my ratios are correct, based on how much starter liquid I have and how big my little container things are. So, 2, 4, 6. So that's 8 cups of water that I've added to my batch. And I started off with 2 cups each in my thingy. I'm just going to get this SCOBY to sit properly. So once you've done that, and it's pretty much up to the rim, you need to cover it over to keep everything out of it for the time that it ferments. So you need to use some kind of cloth. You're supposed to attach it with a rubber band, but I don't have a rubber band. All you do, sit it over the top and let it ferment for 7 to 10 days. That's as hard as it is. And I'm going to do the rest and show you the finished product. Ooh, look at them. Don't they look good?